banks
asked me, I said,
want to
what's gonna
stop
happen with it? I
giving
said,
people
I'll give you a
loans.
little
I
bit of
mean,
time,
where does it
and then
stop?
I'll do an abatement.
What do we got here? This is election?
I'll have my
Yeah,
contracted,
that's your ballots.
so you know, these are
A
better.
One for
ballot.
chair, one for vice chair.
Oh, God.
Come over, you can have everything in.
Where's your name?
If I make them happy.
Gifford, up top.
So that was a little weird.
Huh.
Like I carried excuses in my pocket.
We can't
They
just
usually
say, hey,
they're selling these out.
Is this junior?
gotta sign it in and all.
Well, you gotta check off somebody, and then they'll collect
I
them.
just can't say I make a motion to keep
Well,
the
Mary
same.
won too.
No, you can nominate somebody. I will open nominations, and then you can say, I nominate so-and-so for,
Okay, cool. So I don't have to write this stuff in.
not until it's time to vote. And then if there's
Oh, I
three,
got you.
three people nominated for a position, you gotta pick
Yeah,
one,
I got you, yeah.
check them off.
You can make the nomination, then you do the voting. Ah, yeah.
Right, there you go.
Thank you.
Oh, well. So what's new with you, anything? Same old?
Not much, just trying to keep on keeping on.
Tough old world. Tough old world, I'll tell you. Ain't gonna get any better. At least
Having a
not
bunch
mine.
of stuff done around my house, I decided it was cheaper to hire somebody to do it than it was to try to do it
If you can
myself.
find somebody,
Oh, yeah,
did you find somebody pretty good?
yeah, I found several people to do things.
And they show up and also,
Well, I guess, I mean, they got my,
I had
they
more,
got my deposit, so they better show
I
up.
had more people cutting my trees and this and that. Nobody ever. No shit. I don't care what you pay them. They don't want to work.
Hello. Fine, how are you? Hello. Good.
I'm here because we're trying to get,
Same to you, same to you. Oh, no, no, that's too much work.
I tried to tie one once, it didn't come out.
how can that be?
That's how I feel. It probably won't come out right.
The female here will go up and.
Yeah. Oh, you did get it up.
What's up?
Huh.
She's the one that's,
Have to get off.
I was.
Yeah, yeah,
She told me that.
yeah, that's it.
No, she
That's all
didn't.
she
My
wrote.
code enforcement board meeting.
She told me in person.
All right, no, you're good. Get ready to start. I'll call you
She told me
afterwards.
in person. When I dropped it off, I did not.
All right, bye.
Missing two.
Now you're telling me I'm not on it.
That's not true. The procedure is on a link because you're the one requesting it, you would have to be here. However, did not tell you you didn't have to be here.
She did tell me that.
No, she didn't.
But regardless, so she did tell me I was on for today. Now you're telling me I'm not on for today?
I don't have you on my agenda. You don't automatically get moved. You gotta let her know.
I didn't, I had an email from her.
This is for Carolina, we had done twice.
She didn't show up last.
We had done last month and the month before, you didn't show up.
Alright,
I was only on 1 month.
alright, it doesn't automatically just go
No,
back on.
December we didn't have a program. It was November
It was November.
and October. Yeah, you see agenda tonight.
This is the most screwed up city I've ever been
You
in.
have to buy 10 dozen. Packages it too, you got a deal. I had to buy 10 dozen.
Never buy a $50 beer.
Give me a nickel off a piece.
Liz is, you know, like 5 feet away from the door.
I remember that one.
I called her myself.
Well, she said the female.
Well, not.
Appointed hour.
Tell her it was October, we rushed to get it on October, she didn't show. So we called her and told her November. She didn't show up in November. She can't just walk in.
That's the one, I had 3 cases. Right.
Good evening. Happy New Year.
Happy.
Call this meeting to order. This is the Code Enforcement Board, City of Cocoa, January 20, 2022. Ask you all to stand with me to pledge the flag. I pledge allegiance
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Would you call the roll, please?
Yes, sir. Jim Gifford,
Present.
George Brown,
Present.
Ed Green,
Here.
Dave Lightholder, Sherry Scott,
Here.
Kim Curtis, Lloyd Roberts,
Here.
Demetrius Thomas, and Jocelyn Scott.
Okay, and do we know if these people are going to be here?
I haven't heard from anybody.
Haven't heard from them?
No, sir.
Jocelyn is our alternate, right?
Yes, and Demetrius also.
Well, let's invite them up. Like to join the,
No, we have to call roll and add them to the roll call now in January, but I don't see him here. I have to,
well, I thought you said Jocelyn was here.
no.
No, okay. Okay. All right, in that case, would you swear in our officers, please?
I swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And in January of each year, we are tasked with electing chairperson and vice chairperson for the coming year. With that, I'll take a nomination for chairman first, please.
I nominate Jim Gifford for our chairman.
Second.
Any other names? Okay, with no others, I'll take nominations for vice chair.
I nominate Ed Green.
Second.
Any other names? Golly, that makes it pretty easy, doesn't it? We had to devise a whole new system just for tonight. We have a ballot. But since we only have two nominees, I guess we don't need to use the ballot even, do we?
You could just do an oral vote, I
Yes.
would think.
Yeah.
Just all in favor of Mr. Gifford for chair, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Any opposed? Hearing none, I'll retain the chair. And for vice chair, Mr. Green?
Aye.
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 None opposed? Mr. Green, you got it.
Thank you.
Welcome. Okay, carrying on from there.
No pay raise.
No, same pay. We've been overpaid all this time anyway.
Way too much.
The minutes of, the agenda first. And there are quite a few changes, so if you have your agenda in front of you, I'll note those for you and for the record. On the second page, item number 2 and number 3 are both removed. Item number 4 is removed. Item number 6 is tabled. Item number 9 is removed. 10 is removed. Item number 13 is tabled. Item number 14 and 15 are both removed. And that's the regular items under non-compliance. Item number 1 is removed. Item number 4 is removed. Number 5 and number 6 are both removed. Number 7 is removed. Number 9 is removed. Number 10 is removed. And that would bring us to the end of those items. I'll take a motion to approve the agenda with those changes.
Actually, I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? There are none, so we have an agenda. And has everyone reviewed the minutes of our last meeting in November?
Agenda that she gave them had 502
November,
below.
November 18 meeting?
Keep-
Any changes, additions, updates?
Mr. Chair, I move to approve the minutes of the November 18th meeting as submitted.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? There are none, so the minutes are approved.
Mr. Chair, I would like to submit at this time the packet of documents and affidavits into the record.
Okay, thank you.
Chairman, on your removals, was non-compliant number 1 removed?
.502
Yes.
Brevard.
This is the one we got changed, remember I told me to mess up? So 1 is this one. So go back through and call this one, see this one's removed. 502, but that's not on there. These numbers are messed up on these agendas.
So
Call this one off.
They all wrong?
check marks are good.
Yes.
Okay, further revision of agenda items under non-compliance. The corrections are leaving number 1, number 2 as on the agenda. Number 3 is removed. Number 4 is removed. Number 5 and number 6 are both removed. Number 7 and number 8.
No, that one's still good.
Oh.
Check mark, X mark.
X marks the
X-
spot,
X
okay.
marks the spot.
7 is not removed. 7 is still on the agenda. 8 is removed. And 9 is removed.
That's it.
The whole thing?
Yes.
Okay, under demo cost appeal, that item is removed. So with those changes, I'll need a new motion to approve. Thank you, ma'am.
I'll motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, motion with a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? There are none, so we now have an agenda. And as a side note, many of the ones that were removed belong to Officer Murdoch, who is in the hospital. So we wish him well and speedy return. First case is CE 21-0426.
For the record, I'm Gerald Pettingill, Code Enforcement Officer. Address is 2419 Auburn Drive. I'm submitting a packet of documents and photos associated with this case. The photos accurately depict the property during my visits. After my first inspection, I found the property in violation of general exterior, and they had parking in the yard. They have resolved the parking in the yard. The house burned early, I believe 2020, 2020. I believe that's correct. I visited the site 8 times, found no progress made on the property after the initial salvage and overhaul from the fire department, and they cleaned up immediately after the fire. As far as rehabbing of the house, there's been no progress. As my last inspection, 1/20/22, the property remains in violation, And I've been working on this case since August 7th of 2021. Brought this case before the Code Enforcement Board as violations have not been fully resolved. I sent a notice of hearing on January 6, 2022. It was certified and posted on the property in violation. Staff recommends in case 21-426 that the owner be found in violation, given 30 days to come in compliance, or a fine of $25 be imposed for each day the violation remains until compliance is achieved.
Okay, thank you.
And I believe there is somebody here for the property.
You're here to speak for the property, ma'am?
Yes, I am.
Okay, you'll need to be sworn in, please. The secretary will swear you in.
You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Please state your name and address for the record.
My name is Sharon Beck. My address that I live at is 5300 Tapscott Avenue, Cocoa.
Okay, was your home?
It was, and actually the fire was in May of 2021 is when the fire was. We had renters in there that accidentally set the house on fire. Every time I've gotten a letter, I've called Mr. Pettingill and I told him what happened, and he said, okay, that's fine. We've had the neighbor mowing the yard. The reason the car was in the grass was because it was the renters had left it there because the key was in the house. They couldn't move the car because of the fire was so intense that they couldn't get back in the house. The neighbor bought the car. He's since had it registered, and he moved it to his yard, to his driveway, which is right next door to the right of that house. He asked if he could move it back to the driveway, which is not, I don't see a problem. It's registered, it's, licensed, it's his car. It makes it look like somebody's there just in case, just make it a little safer that people won't, go in there. And so that's why it's back in the driveway. We told him it was okay to park it there. At one point we did have a bunch of tree limbs down. I called Mr. Pettingill, told him that the FPL had cut down a bunch of things and left them there, and he said he would take care of calling FPL to have them pick it up, which I assume that they did. But the yard's been mowed, their windows are boarded up. We had to wait until we got insurance money. We had to deal with the insurance company. We finally did get money from the insurance company, but not enough to rebuild. We don't even know if you can rebuild or tear down. So we didn't want to invest the money in all that if we weren't going to be able to do anything with it. A week and a half ago, I've had people that were interested in buying the property as is, and including the gentleman that lives next door to the house. But then he just told me maybe a month ago that he wasn't able to come up with the money because he couldn't finance it. So I had a backup offer. A week and a half ago, I had signed a contract for a purchase, and we're supposed to close in March. He's going to rebuild. He's a builder, so it should be taken care of in a reasonable time. But the yard is mowed, everything's clean. Back looks horrible because it was a really bad fire. But other than that, I thought I'd complied with everything except for actually rebuilding the home.
Okay. Did you happen to bring a copy of your contract, your sales contract?
No, because we signed it. He took it. He was going to scan it, and he never sent it to me. But I can give you his name. I could forward that to you as soon as I get it, but I haven't gotten a copy of it yet. He's dealing with a title company in Rockledge, and they're supposed to send me the info, which I haven't gotten yet.
Okay, but you do have a firm closing date?
Well, the contract says March 1st, so we're hoping to close by March 1st, which is about a month away.
Okay. All right.
Should we table this?
Is that acceptable?
That's completely up to the board. I would prefer if you would give her 60 or 90 days and set an exact date, because
That's
if
kinda
the
what I'm
sale
thinking.
falls through, then we're right back, and the issue is the house. So I would rather have a firm date, but it's completely up to the board.
Yeah, I think it's better to just extend the time and hope for the best.
Me too.
So I'd entertain a motion to extend that out to maybe 90 days.
Mr. Chair,
Brings that
Go
to
ahead.
what?
I'd like to make a motion on this case, CE 210426, that it'll be found in violation and that the violation will be brought up to compliance within 90 days. Or a fine of $25 a day will be imposed.
Second.
Okay, motion on the floor with a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion passed. So what this does, ma'am, is gives you 90 days to resolve the sale, and then it's on the new owner to get it taken care of.
But what exactly needs to be done, because I mean, the windows are boarded, which I still see houses boarded up from hurricanes and things
Well-
like that. What exactly needs to be done? I mean,
The house
Everything
needs to be
damaged?
brought up into living standards. You can't leave boards on a window longer than 30 days. And the fact that there's smoke damage and stuff, that all needs to be corrected. So your choice is either rebuild, tear down, or that will be the choice of the new buyer when he buys the property.
if they're in the process of doing so, because it probably takes more than a month to get all that done.
But
I mean, if we close in March, that only gives him like a month.
Well, no, if you sell the property, we would renotice the property owner, let him know, try to work with him. Our biggest concern is that this has been like this since May. It's a residential neighborhood. It's not only unsightly, but it's actually a safety hazard. So we're looking for something to be done as quickly as possible.
And I totally agree. I mean, I wouldn't want to live next to that. And we've had the neighbors help take care of it and everything, keep an eye on the property for us. And like I said, we have an offer and he's given us a signed contract. So hopefully we'll have the sale done in March and he'll start taking care of that.
Had you not have come here with information about the sale, we would have acted differently, but you got time to get the sale done, and then it becomes his situation to deal with.
And I did let him know that I was coming tonight, that there was an issue with that, and he was totally fine with it. He said he was gonna start working on it as soon as possible, so.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Next item is CE 21-0671.
For the record, I'm Gerald Pettengill, Code Enforcement Officer. The address is 1222 Dixon Boulevard. I'm submitting a package of documents and photos associated with the case. The photos accurately depict the property during my visits. After my first inspection, I found the property in violation of protective treatment, storing outdoors, general exterior condition, accessory structures, parking in the yard, failure to secure a structure, temporary storage, and accumulation of trash and litter on the property. I visited the site 9 times, found no progress on the property. I've attempted to gain voluntary compliance in this case, but as my last inspection, 1/20/22, the property remains in violation. I've been working this case since October 14th of 21 and brought this case before the Code Enforcement Board as the violations have not been fully resolved. I sent a notice of hearing on January 6, 2022. It was certified and posted on the property in violation. Staff recommends in case number 21-0671 that the owner be found in violation and given 30 days to come into compliance, or a fine of $200 be imposed for each day the violation remains until compliance is achieved. And I believe there is a representative here from the property owner.
Okay,
Officer, are all of the violations listed still in existence?
Yes, ma'am.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How many?
I believe there was 8 of them.
Okay.
2,
got,
3,
yeah,
4,
got 8.
6, 7, yes, 8.
All right, sir, you'll need to be sworn in by the secretary, please.
Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, ma'am.
Please state your name and address for
My-
the record.
My name is Earl Beckford of the Pastor Celebration. I represent this property, Celebration Tabernacle Church. The property at 1222 Dixon Boulevard, which is the shopping center. We understand we have a problem with litter. No matter how much we clean it, the property is really clean, but those things that you see there is the shoppers, the person that rent the shop. They put their stuff out. Then it takes some period of time before it remove. People bring stuff and put it on the property. We clean that property twice, cut the lawn, and we clean it every day because it's a shopping center. So there's a lot of litter go on there. There are things that we own, like those, which we're in the process to get fixed. And that one vacant building, we're in the process of getting that fixed. So I'm not here to dispute it. We will own our faults, and we want to help make the city a better place. So I'm here to ask for 90 days to correct the violation.
Okay.
Are these violations still in effect?
Yes, all the violations listed are still on the property. And then just to answer the question, staff would not object to 90 days. We've actually had this case cited before. There was some pressure washing and some painting and some cleanup done, but it's kind of fallen back to the way it was. So
That's true.
staff would not object to a 90-day period. He's probably going to need 90 days to take care of the violations, especially this vacant section, which used to be a church or whatever on that corner. That's going to take a little bit of time. So staff does not object to 90 days.
Have you got somebody that will repair all this? There's quite a bit of list here in 90 days.
Yeah, we will do the list, and if we need more time, we will come back and ask for more time. We'll work with the code. You'll see the progress, and if we do need more time, yes. But we need to get rid of it, get rid of the violation.
That is true.
Yeah.
All right.
Mr.
take a
Chair, I'd
motion.
like to make a motion.
Go ahead.
In the case of CE 21-0671, give the property owner 90 days to correct all the violations or accept staff recommendation to be fined $200 a day until the violations are corrected.
I'll second.
Okay, motion on the floor with a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? There are none, so the motion passes. And thank you for being here, sir.
Thank you too, sir.
Okay. Next item is CE 21-627.
And for the record, my name is Augusto Gonzalez, Code Enforcement Officer. Case number 21-0627, address 200 North Cocoa Boulevard. I am submitting a packet of documents and photos associated with this case. The photos accurately depict the property during my visits. After my first inspection, I found the property in violation of a permit required and clearance of land required. I visited the site 5 times and found some progress made on the property. I have attempted to gain voluntary compliance in this case, but as of my last inspection, today on January 20th, 2022, the property remains in violation. I have been working on this case since October 5th, 2021, and brought this case before the Code Enforcement Board as the violations have not been fully resolved. I sent the notice of hearing on January 4th, 2022, and it was sent certified and posted to the property in violation. Staff recommends in case 21-0627 that the owner be found in violation and given 30 days to come into compliance, or a fine of $50 be imposed for each day the violations remain until compliance is achieved. And the property owner is here.
Good evening. You'll need to be sworn in, please.
Yes, sir.
The secretary over here.
Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Please state your name and address for the record.
My name is Leonard Havia, 200 North Cocoa. All I could do is say I apologize, and it's no excuse, but I'll just tell you real quick, about 4 to 6 months ago, we started with my dad, and my dad ended up having, lung cancer. And I usually go by my properties all the time, and I take care of them, and I own several around here, and I always try to keep them mowed. I usually deal with, I forgot the other code enforcement officer's name.
Officer Murdock.
Yes, I guess he's out right now, but I can have it taken care of. It's just, it's been rough with the COVID. I was supposed to build a spot there, and the COVID stopped me. I do have all my permits, and I called to extend them as the COVID went down, when it was going bad. I actually had to call twice. I got all of the groundwork. I got most of the groundwork done. Mr. Busenmeyer is my engineer. I went through DOT. It took me a year and 4 months to pull my permits for that place right there, and I finally got them, and I started, and the COVID hit. So I still have intentions to put something there for our community to make it nice. I've been picking needles up there for almost 2 years now. I can't tell you how many. You know what's across the street. Everybody knows it. It's a heroin clinic, and have people sleeping there all the time. I deal with them. I try to get rid of them. I try to help them out, and I do everything I can. But my plans are get enough to elevate a little bit. I understand that you guys want the ground down to existing level, existing grade right there, and I can do that. No problem at all, but I will need a little bit of time to get a little bit of an equipment in there. And I mean, my dad starts chemo on Monday, so but I'll get it done if I can just have a little extension. I just found out. I met him there, and the letters were not going to my house in Merritt Island. I live in Merritt Island, and they were going to my other address, I think, which is in Christmas, Florida, where my shop is. And that's what I originally wanted to do there, was my boat shop. And then it turns out that the zoning was changed on me, and I couldn't do my boat shop there. So it's like all my dreams got shattered there. So that all went on standstill. I just wanted to do a little boat shop there, but I can't even have vehicles outside. So I said, well, let me try to do I'm probably talking way too much, but I just want to tell you the truth.
That's all right, Jared.
I'm sorry for over talking, but that's what I still would love to do it. But now I got to go through changing the zoning back to where I got to be able to put boats out there. You know what I mean? I can't just bring in one boat, work on it, and they said I could only sell parts out of there. So I said, well, let me do Havey Boat Supply, where I can sell used boat parts, like a West Marine, but with used parts. Because I have my salvage yard out in Christmas where I have a ton of used boat parts, and that's what I do. I'm getting too old to be working on them all the time, so I figured I'd start selling parts and just try to make an honest living, try to do that. It's the American dream, and I've been trying to do it, but getting shot down and shot down and shot down. I'm just kind of need more time, and I would like to extend my permits as well, so I can continue to do it. If I can maybe somehow change the zoning or just do a boat, just be able to sell parts out of there.
Okay.
That's the whole 9 yards, all right there, man.
You've got several issues to deal with, but we're only really concerned with you're getting the land cleared, and I guess our question there would be how much time do you need to make that happen?
To get to do the
Just
probably
clear it out, level it out, make it look like it's going to be something.
Yes, sir.
And then get the permits to do whatever you want to do. You may need to go to zoning. You may need to.
I do have the permits, sir.
You do with permit from the city?
I do have them from the city, yeah.
And they're active?
Huh?
And they're active?
Well,
and your site plan has been put in?
I called down there during the pandemic, and I had them extended. They extended them for 6 months, and then I called again, and I asked them again, do I need to do anything at all? I wrote down the name, the people's name that I talked to on a piece of paper just in case this would ever happen, and they said absolutely not. You can have another extension for 6 months, and I still should be within the thing. I still want to continue.
Better check with them, because right now you don't have an active permit, so you need to check with them.
I'm going to do that.
And typically,
right now, my
and typically
priority
they
is my
won't
dad,
keep.
dude.
Typically, they won't keep extending every 6 months. It's 6 months in between inspections. So when they gave you that 6 months, you needed to have at least an inspection done before then.
Yes,
I'm
sir,
just giving you a heads up. We didn't cite you for that.
I
But
appreciate it.
in the process of doing this,
I'll get
you
it.
have no permit or zoning clearance, so you need to go up and check with them.
I will, sir.
Okay.
And I'll get it all very presentable, and I'll get the swell done to where it's down there and the guys can work on the lighthouses and everything. I mean, on the light poles and everything, and do what you guys want me
It
to
needs
do.
to
I
meet
appreciate
the, it needs to meet the plan, the map that DOT has. We have it, we can provide it to you. That's gotta be restored to that level.
Now, that's absolutely no problem. I also have a set of plans, that show the swell where it is cut now. You see where it's further back, that I had all that shot by a surveyor and told me the grade spots off of my permits that I had pulled by Mr. Busenmeyer, the engineering, who took me almost a year and a half to do.
So you have a survey on FDOT right away?
Yes, sir, I do. And St. John's Water Management went out there, dug, told me I could do it. It took me a year and a half to pull all my permits. Yes, sir, I do have
And
all
you have
that.
permits from them?
I'm sorry?
You have permits from them?
I have everything, stamp set and everything, yes, sir. I didn't even have a chance. I told him I would dig them out and show you. I really do have
Okay,
all this
you
stuff.
might wanna meet with your engineer, cause
Okay.
typically you don't get to alter the FDOT right away. Your property line does not come all the way up to that barrier. There's area in there.
I said this.
I'm just giving you a heads up. That needs to all be restored.
On the plans, it even says the rail to be removed. The whole rail all the way across.
By you?
By whoever, DOT or whatever.
Right,
but on my
DOT
plans-
may have plans to alter that, but I'm saying your property line ends prior to that, so you should not be altering the DOT's right of way in any way.
I guess Mr. Busenmeyer or my engineer had talked to DOT about all of this.
Well, have Mr.
It
Busenmeyer
took
call
a
me. I'll be more than happy to speak to him.
Okay.
Because that's just not how it works. DOT doesn't say, yeah, go ahead, dig up our right of way, remove our rail, do our thing, and your property line ends.
Sir, I never said that that's how it worked. All I'm saying is that they were in cahoots and they were talking. I'm not saying that was, but this was the whole intentions. In fact, it was wrote on my plans.
Okay.
The plans were stamped in red by the city. I have them.
Okay.
I mean, but at this point right now in my life with what's going on, honestly, I just want to comply. I don't want no trouble. You
Well,
know
that's
what I
all
mean?
I
Let
want
me
you to
own
do
my
is come into
property.
compliance. I want to make sure that you understand what needs to be done and where you need to go, and I want it to be brought into
So
compliance.
let me get this straight. What you want me to fix is bring where your property is and my property is. You want it down to a grade. Is that correct?
I
And
want you to
down-
bring your property back to its original grade before you started moving it, and then the DOT right-of-way has to be restored.
Wait a minute.
to
You
what
want
it
me to
was.
bring my property back down to grade? That is grade.
No, you've dug all around going towards 300. All that ground has changed contour. You compacted dirt where you're going to make the slab. You've done alterations to that land. So you either need-
The swales are there. I have permits for that. That I was allowed to
Then
do
show
that.
me the permits, because I can't find any permits for you.
Okay, who are you and how do I get a hold of you?
We have spoken multiple times, starting with the convenience store on Stone Street.
Oh, I'm sorry.
with Brian
I
Foes.
forgot your name. I'm sorry.
It's Dennis.
Dennis.
Bring them to me, let me look at them, I'll help guide you, because what you're saying is process stuff, but I don't see actual permits or anything that says you could do what you've done. So we need that all restored,
I will
and then the DOT right away has to be restored.
The DOT
Okay.
right away to be restored, absolutely.
Okay, so we're on the same page, you can come see me, I'll look at your plans. If need be, I'll get with Public Works and we'll talk about it, but you have two issues, you have the DOT right-of-way section, and then you have the other areas that are causing erosion.
Just also to give you a heads up, DOT, Public Works already passed my drainage, the drainage, box was lifted, and as per my permit, and the fire hydrant was installed, and that was all wrote off and passed. No problem. So that was part of my thing too, just to let you know. So
Okay.
the box stands about this high, but I'll bring it to that grade where I understand where your property is, and I'll get all that real nice, and the water will drain just perfect, just the way it still has no problem there.
No
But
problem, I just want you to do the right thing, and I want
Yes,
you to
sir.
know what you need to do before you leave this chamber,
Okay,
because I don't want you doing something
Talk
that
to
you
you
don't need
now?
to. No. After the meeting,
Yes, sir.
after they make a ruling,
Yes.
if you have any questions, you can come to me. If you have anything that you want to ask, we'll check, we'll go through it, and I'll work it with you so we can get it
I
done.
will comply in any way that you guys need me to, and I will do
Yes,
it.
sir.
Do we need to put a little more time?
Please.
You can give them 60 days. I
60?
definitely need the DOT right-of-way portion fixed because it's been
Right,
completely undermined, so
okay.
all
Well-
that needs to be done. If he could get 60 days, like I said, I'd be willing to help him.
And you can get
If
ready
you wanna
next-
give him 90 days and let us check it every 30, as long as I see progress, I just want voluntary compliance.
Mr.
So-
Chair, I would like to make a motion.
Okay, go ahead.
Case CE 210627, I'd like to follow staff recommendation to find that the property owner is in violation of the 2 citations, and that he be given 90 days to come into compliance, to check in with the code enforcement office at least once every 30 days, and until compliance is achieved, or a $50 a day fine be imposed until compliance is achieved.
Second with discussion.
Okay, discuss.
Dennis,
Yes.
all this property has to be done is to be brought up to grade.
Yes, and restore the right-of-way to its original form.
So that's basically moving the dirt around.
Yes.
So that shouldn't be a big problem.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
But when he's dealing with the right-of-way, he has to bring it up to the standards that were there.
Right.
My concern, based on his testimony, is that he's got plans that he's dealing with an engineer, but they may not be the right corrections, and that might take a little bit of time, because he kind of overstepped, but that's something we can work on.
So you'll explain everything to them? Get
Absolutely.
it up to grade.
I've got all the maps that were sent to me, I've discussed this with Public Works. So we're on the right path, if he can do it in 90 days.
Thank you.
Okay, we've got a motion on the floor with a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed or none? Motion passed. Thank you for being here. Stay in touch with Officer Bunt.
I will. I'm sorry I forgot your name, buddy.
No problem.
I really did. Had a lot going. Thank you, guys. I'll get it right. See you.
Okay, next up is CE 21-370.
I'm submitting a packet of documents and photos associated with this case. The photos accurately depict the property during my visits. After my first inspection, I found the property in violation of accessory structures and protective treatment. I visited the site 5 times and found no progress made on the property. I have attempted to gain voluntary compliance in this case, but as of my last inspection on 1/20/2022, the property remains in violation. I have been working on this case since August 31st, 2021, and brought this case before Code Enforcement Board as the violations have not been fully resolved. I sent the notice of hearing on January 4th, 2022, and it was sent and certified and posted on the property in violation. Staff recommends in case 210370 that the owner be found in violation and given 30 days to come into compliance, or a fine of $50 be imposed for each day the violations remain until compliance is achieved. And I do not believe the property owner is here. I have not met them yet.
You have spoken with them?
I have attempted contact. I haven't received anything. I've tried multiple addresses aside from what's on the appraiser page, and no response.
No response.
No.
Okay.
Is this a repeat violation?
Yes, sir. There's actually an active running lien on it for something unrelated, and it appears I've gotten worse since that happened.
So it has been before us, but the violations before you today are not repeats. The other violations were different.
Same owner?
Yes.
Okay.
And what's happened now is basically the fence has started to rot. It's breaking apart, falling down. And then the fascia and around parts of the property, the paint has all been chipped off and peeled off.
Is this vacant?
Yes. It wasn't always vacant, it's just recently become vacant. There used to be somebody living there 4 or 5 months ago, but they've moved out.
The whole house has to be painted?
No, they can just repaint, like the white area that you see, and then up around the carport, all that wooden fascia is all chipped and peeled. So it's basically trim work that would need to be painted.
I see. Thank you.
Okay, take a
Yeah,
motion,
I'd like to
please.
make a motion.
Go ahead.
In the case of CE-21-0370, I'd like to find the property owner in violation and give the property owner 30 days to come in compliance or be fined $50 per day until compliance is achieved.
Okay, motion on the floor with a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? There are none, so that motion passed. Next is CE-21-0457.
I'm submitting a packet of documents and photos associated with this case. The photos accurately depict the property during my visits. After my first inspection, I found the property in violation of accessory structures, parking in the yard, protective treatment, and storing outdoors. I visited the site 6 times and found some progress made on the property. I have attempted to gain voluntary compliance in this case, but as of my last inspection on January 20th, 2022, the property remains in violation. I have been working on this case since August 8th, 2021, and brought this case before the Code Enforcement Board as the violations have not been fully resolved. I sent a notice of hearing on January 4th, 2022, and it was sent certified and posted on the property in violation. Staff recommends in case 21-0457 that the owner be found in violation and given 30 days to come into compliance, or a fine of $100 be imposed for each day the violations remains until compliance is achieved.
Okay, they need to be sworn in, please, by the secretary. Sir, you need to be sworn in, please.
Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
State your name and address for the record.
Doug Macy, 1055 Park Drive.
Okay, tell us what your plan is here, please.
Well, seems like I took care of all that. I want to bring that to you. That's a picture. This is my truck. I mowed. Pictures they have way out.
I ain't touching
Okay, well, they are dated.
Well, that one was yesterday, I think, or the day before.
So the accessory structure, what do we,
It was for the fence,
okay, and that's been repaired?
not as of this morning when I saw it.
Somebody keeps trying to break in my backyard. They stole my floor jack. They been throwing garbage in my yard. I got some photos of that too.
The outdoor storage also remained outside when I went by this morning. The only violation that I saw corrected was parking in the yard. He's parked in the driveway now.
Okay, so the storing outdoors,
Yeah, there's a motor, I believe, right next to the garage door that's open, I
Well, I
think.
have to load that up. That goes in that brown truck right there. I gotta take it to the machine shop. Every time you send me a letter, I start doing stuff that you say.
Mr. Chairman,
I've been busy with that, and my health is just plain corrupt.
This is also only the second time that I've met you, yesterday being the first time, sir. Just, I haven't been able to make contact with you, to work with you either, or figure out what's going on.
And I don't know. Yeah, I was in a car accident. I have brain damage, spinal damage. And all these other people make me forget about parking in the yard too. I mean, if you look at some of these pictures, I mean, I got the people next to me are running their company out of their front yard. Let's see, where's the picture of that?
well,
Yeah.
sir, we're not concerned with any yard right now except yours.
About garbage in my yard, sir, and this is where it's coming from. I wish somebody would stop it.
We have several cases in the neighborhood. If he wants to present that to us with his name and address and contact number, we'll make sure we have all of them.
They've been there for a year.
Is that yours? That's not yours.
No, that's.
No.
Okay, well, I can't do anything with that. The best thing for you to do with that is present it to Code Enforcement Board along with your name and the complaint that you have, and then we'll,
I'm not complaining about it, I'm just saying, other people are doing stuff,
And Mr.
and they
Bickford,
keep coming after me, singling me out.
just for the record, this property has been brought before this board several times before for all the same
I was here
violations.
once,
He was cited several times before and he was brought before the board.
yeah, right after the hurricane destroyed everything, and I was trying to clean it up.
So this is an ongoing issue with engines and car
I'm
parts
not
and
trying to
stuff.
spite them, I'm just telling you, the whole place out there, I can't remember. It's like telling the no-legged person to climb a ladder. I can't remember, and I see the whole neighborhood looks like this. I mean, the one guy, he's built up underneath of the power lines, and that's been going on for 20-something years. It always comes back to, I'm in the wrong, and I don't mind getting back in the right. And I'll put the motor in the back of my truck and get busy taking it to the machine shop or anything else you want.
okay, well,
But I'm just saying, I keep getting singled out. And I'm not the only one. You got people on the other block, they got a lawn company running off of the accessory lot next to them.
our job here is not to single you out, not to be punitive. Our job is just to make the city look better. If there are other houses that need attention, when the officer's driving past yours, he's probably seeing those as well.
Looked
So-
right at it. He looked right at it when he left, after I got done talking to him in
Again,
the street. He
Mr.
just
Chair,
kept
if this
driving.
gentleman would like to meet me at my office, I'd be more than happy to discuss what cases we have open and what we don't. Last year, we did 893 cases. We definitely did not single out just 1055 Park. So if he has questions on his neighbors, I can look up cases,
Well, I've actually
tell him
been
where they
in a
are, we've
coma
got fines.
because my body was swelling up the last time. I had to start doing things right now. I have to go slow or I get sick. It
Okay.
isn't worth crippling me or killing me
Do
over
you,
a couple of little things like that.
do you understand the things that need to be taken care of?
I don't understand all the legalese that's coming at me in some of these letters too. But, you know,
Those I
that's neither
can't
here nor
alter,
there. I'm
unfortunately,
here
they're
now.
governed by state statute, so I have to have everything that's in there. But that's why we want him to talk to us. We'll be more than happy to work it out with him.
Yeah,
What do you need me to do exactly? And that'll be my first thing that I do. Soon as I'm having a hard time standing up here right now because the last 3 months I've been trying to hurry up and get things done before I ended up here.
have you met with this gentleman? With this
Yesterday,
owner?
briefly, when I was doing a follow-up, just aside from talking to, I asked if he wanted to talk to me, he said no, so I didn't talk to him.
Okay, well, the officers are
Yeah, I
always
must have
available
missed
to
that
talk
one.
with you, to come to your house and show you what needs to be taken care of. They're not there to pick on you or single you out in any way at all, but they are there to get compliance. And if you want that kind of activity, then you take advantage of it when they're here. You know, the code officer that you did talk to briefly, the manager of code enforcement, Officer Bunt, will also speak with you. And all the board is trying to do is get resolution. Okay? We want you to understand what you need to do to resolve the issues and then do it. If it needs a little explanation, that's fine. But if it's just a matter of you're not taking care of it, then we deal a little more harshly with it. So you tell
I
me.
plan on taking care of it, sir. The thing, I've got plans to move. And this whole last year, I don't know, it was a while back since I've been in here. But after that, I finished this driveway thing I had to up north, the place where I'm gonna move to, and I almost got done, except for the rain came down. And then I got a little sick, and then I got a lot sick, and then my body started swelling up. So they've had me on this medication, which is anti-inflammatory, and that just knocks me completely out. And I'm afraid I'm going to have to go back on it again.
Okay,
Because of all the last 3 months, I've been, trying to get things done before the letters ran out.
Yeah. Sir, well, yeah, we're not here to take a medical report. I'm sorry you're having those difficulties.
I'm not trying to despite you.
But we do have to move forward.
Mr. Chair, may I ask a couple of questions of the officers?
Please go ahead.
Do I understand that the parking in the yard is resolved and no longer an issue?
When I went today, yes.
Okay. Storing of junk autos, we saw a picture of a car that was a body being repaired. Has that been resolved?
He's removed that too, yes.
Okay, so what we have remaining is accessory structures, which is the fence needs repair?
Well, that car was licensed and insured along with my truck.
Sir, may I continue? Thank you. Accessory structures, that's the fence that needs repair?
Yes, sir.
And storing outdoors is the stuff that we see in front of the garage?
The miscellaneous items, yes.
Okay, so of the 4 cited violations, 2 are remaining.
Yes.
And is it reasonable to give this gentleman, because he does have some disability, some extra time to fix the fence and remove the stuff that's in the yard?
Absolutely. I mean, in the past, like I said, we've had other cases with Mr. Masix, and he's always come into compliance, always.
Okay.
He has no outstanding fines. If he needs more time, we can give him. But if he don't make contact with us and 90 days, 120 days goes by, we're going to end up bringing it to the board. So if he needs more time, we'll give him 60 days. We'll give him whatever he needs.
Mr. Basic, can you work with the officers to fix your fence and remove that stuff that we see in front of your brown truck and do that within 60 days?
60 days, I should be ready to move it, so I don't have very much time left to hook up the engine in my truck.
Mr.
And
Chair,
then I'll be able to, there won't be anything on that property, period.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion.
Go ahead, please.
I move in case CE 210457 that the owner be found in violation of the 2 remaining citations and that he be given 60 days to correct the violations or be fined $50 per day imposed until compliance is achieved.
Second.
Okay, motion on the floor with a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? There are none. All right, so you got 60 days, and in that time, talk with the code officers, figure out what you need to do, or if you already know, just go ahead and do it. When it's done, be sure to contact them so that they can sign it off as completed.
And if you have any problems, you can also call me as well, code manager. I'll be more than happy.
On this,
Huh? Yes, if
Is
you
this the
call,
phone number?
you call that number.
and you're Mr. Gonzalez?
No, he's Mr. Gonzalez, I'm the code manager. So if you have any issues with Mr. Gonzalez, you can call me.
All right, so
And we'll
call
get
the
it worked
code
out.
manager. Got you.
Thank you, sir.
We done?
Yes.
Yeah, we're done, thank you. Okay, next item is CE 21-0485.
The address is 1041 West Hillcrest Drive. I am submitting a packet of documents and photos associated with this case. The photos accurately depict the property during my visits. After my first inspection, I found the property in violation of accessory structures, parking in the yard, permit required for fences, roofs and drainage, storing junk autos, and storing outdoors. I visited the site 6 times and found no progress made on the property. I have attempted to gain voluntary compliance in this case, but as of my last inspection on 1/20/2022, the property remains in violation. I have been working on this case since September 1st, 2021, and brought this case before Code Enforcement Board as the violations have not been fully resolved. I sent the notice of hearing on January 4th, 2022. It was sent certified and posted on the property in violation. Staff recommends in case 21-0485 that the owner be found in violation and given 30 days to come into compliance or a fine of $150 be imposed for each day the violation remains until compliance is achieved. The property owner, I believe, is not here. I have not met them yet.
Okay, what's the accessory structure that we're dealing with?
The fences.
Fences?
And, yes.
Have they been repaired, or they?
The fence goes down and then it gets repaired and then it goes down. But neither of them been done with a permit either. So.
Well,
It's currently broken.
for repair, they don't need a permit. Correct?
Depends on how much they're doing. It's usually up to
Yeah,
permitting.
it
I'll
would
let permitting make the decision.
It would depend on the length and if they're taking out the actual posts that are the support beams.
Right.
So that
That
would
doesn't
be,
appear to be the case. You're just putting boards in. That's what it looks like. So, I think the,
So what's the permit required
that's for the roof.
violation for?
For the fences, because it was down at one point and it was put back up again. I couldn't tell what was being done. That's why it was cited.
how much of it was down? Just that one little, that's about,
It was down there and there were some slabs missing.
about 4 boards there.
I'm not understanding why they need a permit.
I'm not either. I think that item's, I mean, if that's all we're repairing, if we're just repairing those 4 or 5 boards, there's no permit there.
There was more than 4 and 5 that I had seen. It changes every time
Okay,
I've done my inspection.
you gotta make pictures of things or we don't know, you know? We can only go on what we can see.
Okay.
So I would say for purposes of our discussion tonight, we take the permitting off. Storing junk, we got a picture of storing junk or autos.
That car right there.
This has no tag or,
It's up on jacks.
It's been
on
inoperable.
ramps.
oh, okay.
And then if you look on the side of the property, there's a pile of stuff with some buckets that are laying out there as well.
All right, and the roof we can see needs repair. Is the parking in the yard, is that constant or is this just, because this was back in December when you took that picture?
I didn't see it when I went this morning. Just whatever shows in the pictures, it's off and on.
If you look, the truck is parked in the yard. It's either in the front yard or it's right
That's
there on the
today-
side of the
that's-
driveway, yeah.
That's today's picture, so
Yes.
that's,
There you go.
that's good, okay. And what are we storing outdoors
That's the buckets and the items that are on the side of the
on
property.
that side?
See, there's buckets there, and then it's dark on that one. I'll go to the next one.
Okay, and have you talked to the owner about what needs to happen here?
I've sent notifications. I haven't gotten anything from them at all.
And no personal contact?
No, sir.
But Code has in the past. He's actually been before this board twice before.
Same owner?
Yeah, same owner. And in 2014, he was cited for the roof, but he put patches on it, which you can kind of see the lighter shingles that he added on there. But now the whole rest of the roof there's no grit on the shingles. It's just, it completely needs to be replaced.
Okay. Well, if you gotta put a new roof, we're not gonna get that done in 30 days.
Staff wouldn't object if you want to give them 90 days and change the amount to 125.
Yeah, I think
Because
we'd be
you're
doing
removing
good
the
if you
permit.
can get a roof in 90 days, that'd be. Are we within the code to say that the roof must be replaced beyond being patched so it doesn't leak?
On this particular house, if he could get somebody that could, I guess, patch it. I mean, there's no grit on the shingles, and then he's actually got a bow mark. Let me go back to this one picture that shows it closer. That's actually the shingles, but there's nothing on them. And then if you look on this side here, there's divot marks that go all through. So his roof is in really bad condition. My concern is for him, not for the city getting a permit. This roof has actually been bad since 2014. So he would need to, I would say, at least do a shingle over shingle, repair roof, a roof over. But that's up to him.
Okay, but in any case, he's gonna need a contractor to do that.
Well, he can pull owner builder. It's his and his mom's house. So they could pull owner builder and then have somebody come help them.
And you feel like 90 days is sufficient to get that done?
It should, I mean, if he actually started on it, if you want to give him 120, we can go 120. I would like to see him get a new roof because that roof has been like that, like I said, since 2014, and my concern is more for him. But if you think 120 would be more sufficient.
I mean, we don't know what's happening inside. He may be sitting in his easy chair with an umbrella over his head, but we don't know that.
And that's true because the back section is even worse. It's got some dry rot and stuff that you can see in the sheathing on this far corner here. I don't know what his intentions are because he hasn't spoken to us this time around.
I think 120 days with 30-day revisits. That gets it on the books.
Because we always have time, so whatever the board thinks is the time to get it corrected, we just want to get to the compliance, so that's fine with staff.
30-day review, at least every 30 days.
30-day review. And I'll make an effort to go out and speak to Mr. Young and see if I can't persuade him.
Okay.
You gotta catch him, you know, when he's out, because if you knock on his door, he usually won't answer. But I'll make that attempt to try to persuade him to move forward on the roof.
All right, I'll take a motion from somebody.
Mr. Chair,
Go ahead, please.
case number CE 210485 be found in violation, and that the violation that will be corrected within, what are we looking at, 120?
120 with 30-day review.
120 days with 30 days, a review on the progress, or a fine of $150 a day will be imposed. And that was this one here, all these violations are still in effect, right?
Well, except for the permit,
Except
we want
for
to take that
permit.
off, so we want to make it 125.
Okay, then I'll change that to 125 a day for the violation. And that it'll be 120 days to repair with 30-day checking on the progress.
I'll second.
Okay, motion on the floor with a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed or none? So the motion passed. Thank you. And next page is clear. Now, am I getting into the ones where we had a discrepancy here? So number 1 is removed, correct?
No.
No, it's still on.
Wait.
Okay.
There's 2 agendas. You keep saying that, but you've got a different agenda. Somehow, here, take my agenda. That's the one we're working on. When we removed number 1, it was 502 Boulevard. This is the new number 1. I don't know what yours says.
Okay, okay.
So we came back and corrected
This
that
one's
and said
just
number
out.
1 was back on.
And what happened is somebody went in.
I thought we came back and corrected that number 1 was back on.
Got 2 agendas going out that shouldn't have went out.
Okay, so let me see what the next page provides here. Okay, we're on the same. Yeah, we're good. Okay. All right, then our first item under non-compliance is CE 21-0121. And you'll need to be sworn in, please, sir, with the secretary.
Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Please state your name and address for the record.
I'm a retired Derek Spencer Collins Sr., disabled 100%.
Okay, thank you for your service.
You're welcome.
We had several items here that have not been taken care of yet. What's, yeah, the board doesn't really have any discretion at this point unless you can tell us that you've got them done.
I've been in front of you many a time, Mr. Chairman, and I appreciate everything you've done, but this is a part of my sickness. I started this as a hobby. I have over 350 bikes now that do have some kind of value to them. I've given 10 bikes to kids just this Christmas. I got a woman sitting in my yard that's getting ticketed for parking in the yard because she's homeless. Her and her son sits there in the yard. I give them money to go to Titusville, to take them to school and stuff. But that's me being a person. About the code, I'm dead wrong. I need a little time. It's progress.
No,
It's
Mr.
showing
Chair,
progress.
if I could give an update before we start taking testimony. This is actually just bringing back as a non-compliance. You've already found him in violation and you've already actually levied a fine against him.
Right.
But the city manager and council have asked for something to be done. So we were directed by the attorney's office to bring this back as non-compliance and update the board on what the fine is and re-ask for original motion. So he's already got a running fine. It's running daily.
You know
We
what
want-
the total is?
Yes,
Do
it's
we
it's
have a
in,
total?
it's in the
He can put $1
presentation. It's
million
18,000.
Okay, why don't you let him
This
go?
is the nonsense
Why
what they
don't, why
do
don't you
to
go
me.
ahead and do your presentation?
So, yeah, Gusto will just update you, but that's why we're here. And he's
Progress
got
is
all the
being
time he
made, Mr.
needs right
Chairman.
now because he's in non-compliance running a daily fine.
I've been running non-compliance.
So, okay, so.
It's nothing new. I'm not gonna move. I pay my taxes on the house. The house looks nothing like that now. That's what they ran through and told me they would replace my equipment. They ran a car through my yard. No.
If
They
staff,
came
if
and took
staff,
stuff and it
if
wasn't the day
staff
that
could
they were supposed
present
to.
the case.
Only one of us can
and
talk
show
at a
all the
time. I'm not here to argue, sir. If you can keep him quiet, I can say what I gotta say and we can move on. I know I'm not in code. I already said that.
This is an unusual situation. We don't usually pull them back before the board after the fines are running. But if this is what council wanted, so what?
Well, and we spoke with the assistant city attorney, Christine Ike, and she suggested that we could bring this before the board, reiterate our motion, because we had originally asked to be allowed to abate this property under chapter 162. She said it would be a good idea to bring it back before the board. And what we're gonna ask tonight is we're gonna ask again to the board to give us permission to abate this property because it's a safety hazard. And if not, move forward with foreclosure. Because as you will see by the pictures,
Property tax
this
has
is
been paid.
completely out of
Foreclosure will
control
not help
and it's
the
a hindrance
situation.
to the neighborhood.
I've
And with all
already
the complaints
studied the
coming
real
in.
estate.
You can't do that under non-compliance.
You
okay?
can't. You can't. It's illegal.
Well, no, it's not illegal, but.
For him to foreclose on me, I still don't have to move off of that property as long as taxes paid.
Well, if
I've
it's,
studied the real
if it's his
estate. I've been
homestead,
down
then
in the bow and he's
you can't
instructing me.
foreclose it.
These guys
All
don't
right,
even
sir,
come to my property
please.
anymore.
Please.
Yeah.
This is the city staff who has put this on the agenda.
Yes, ma'am.
So we need to let them explain why they've asked for this to be on the agenda, and I'm sorry to interrupt,
No
but,
problem, man.
I'm just trying to get an understanding why it's on the agenda. The last hearing was the non-compliance hearing, correct? And the board found him in non-compliance, is that right?
That's correct.
And then a fine has been running, correct?
Correct,
Because the property has not been brought into compliance.
correct.
And was there a serious threat found to justify
We
abatement?
presented that and the board did not grant that to us.
Okay,
But we have been asked to bring it back because
For
the
that.
property has actually gotten worse since the last time. And that's what we're trying to bring forward today.
so reconsideration
Yes.
of the abatement issue.
Yes.
Excuse me, where's today's picture?
I will get to them as we do the presentation.
You will see the makeover if you see today's picture.
Well, I think some of us,
It's been
some of us
ongoing.
probably remember today's pictures, or not today's, but the most recent ones. And I still question whether the non-compliance is the right place for this on the agenda. I mean, if we're redoing it, it's
Yeah.
redo, it's not a,
Well, you're not really redoing the finding of a violation because that still exists until the code officers confirm that it's been brought into compliance. So, and what they're saying right now is it's not brought into compliance.
They're opening, and excuse me if I can speak. They're opening a new case because they took $2,000 wheelchairs from my house 3 days before they were supposed to come and take stuff. They took 5 Weber grills, a stainless grill, a Florida Gator trash can, some bicycles. They came and just took it somewhere, told me to meet them after the meeting. They'll have those vendors to bring my stuff back, which I've never been made whole on. So they said, well, since we got him like this, we'll give him a fresh chance to do it all over again. But I have an illness. I'm telling you, it's an illness. I work on these bikes to stop from hitting somebody in the head with a bat or something. And then this guy comes over and says, I'm in trouble. I come to bring you trouble. So I don't want them to my yard anymore. They come by and take the pictures.
For the
and
record, I have not been to Mr. Collins' property in the last 6 months.
That's right, because he come there with BS.
Excuse me.
And he takes
Excuse
pictures
me.
and send to me.
I think this is just compliance or non-compliance. That's all we're here for.
That's right.
Correct?
That's what I was saying in the beginning.
Okay, so, hold on. We have a presentation. You have a presentation, correct?
That's correct.
Okay, let's get on to the presentation and then we go from there, please.
Thank you.
And for the record, I'm Augusto Gonzalez, Code Enforcement Officer. I'm submitting a packet of documents and photos associated with this case. Photos accurately depict the property during my visits. This case was brought to the Code Board for noncompliance on August 19th, 2021, and was found in noncompliance for the following violations: permit required, accumulation of trash and litter, storing junk or autos, and parking in the yard. I sent the notice of hearing for noncompliance on January 4th, 2022, and it was sent certified and posted. At this time, staff is bringing this property back to the board to confirm the property remains in violation, and the fine is currently $18,000, $710 as of this date. This property has actually gotten worse and is a threat to public safety, as hazards obstruct the public right-of-way and sidewalk, has chemicals improperly stored, is a breeding ground for rodents and other infestation, and creates an attractive nuisance for criminal activity. Staff recommends in case 21-0121 that the board finds that the violations on the property still exist and constitute a serious threat to public health, safety, and welfare, as provided in Chapter 162.06, Section 4. If the violations are not corrected within 10 days, the board requests that the city be notified and take appropriate abatement action. The cost of any abatement action shall be included in the current fine amount imposed. If abatement is not given, then staff asks the Code Board permission to move forward with foreclosure.
This is all material stuff. If they want this stuff, come and take it. It has been demolished before, and people have donated it back because they see what a good job I'm doing in the community. But that's not a part of the code enforcement law. I understand I have things to abide by, but people see me helping out my community. I blow the whole block when I sweep my streets in the morning. Some of your board members have been past my place. But this is not what we're about. I understand. I'm not going to waste any more of your time.
We need to get clarification from our council, I think.
Yeah, I'm not going to waste any more of your time.
And among ourselves. I'm not really sure that
It's unusual to do this. I was just trying to contact Kristen to see if she could respond why this was being brought back. My opinion is you need to open up a new case.
What's the criminal activity he sees going on?
Because this is already.
You can see criminal activity from jump.
Hang on, I need to make a clear record. Sorry, we need to make a clear record.
Yeah, criminal activity.
We've already had the compliance hearing. That case already has a fine running. And there was a decision made on that case by this board. The fine is running. Non-compliance was found, a fine is running. What it sounds like is staff is saying it's now gotten worse and we need to reconsider their request to abate. I don't remember that the board denied that before, but they did.
A new case, a new filing.
Yes, sir.
But it's all
Give
the
me
same
time
violations that are already
to come in
existing with a running
compliance.
Well, then
lien.
it's a repeat.
Yeah,
Well, no, it's not a repeat because the original violation has never been corrected, so
It's
it's
a
an
new
ongoing
case now.
violation.
they said the start of a new case. I'm just asking for a few days, if not, come and abate, and then come and foreclose or
My
whatever.
question would be, because we're here, it's in the non-compliance section. So am I correct or not? And we're just here to
Sidewalk is
find it
not
as
blocked.
non-compliant
No.
and not abate.
You already did that.
Sidewalk is clear.
So,
I know it's confusing because it was put on the compliance section. I'm a little confused.
All that's gone. I'm
in
confused
good
too, man.
company.
I don't understand what's going on. That's a clear sidewalk from end to end.
Well,
It's not obstructing any fairway, any right of way. I had grills over on one side while I was cutting and cleaning the other side. They took those, took the $2,000 wheelchair. Oh, we'll get it back if you meet us after the meeting. After the meeting, it's not on record, and they don't have to abide by that.
it sounds to me from what Mrs. Ike is responding to my request was that she believed you could you could declare a nuisance and abate it if there was no appeal.
They tried to abate once before. They had a random car run through there, and it threw paint all over my white trucks out there, which the city won't make right. It won't be whole. My grills won't be made whole.
I don't think this is.
The wheelchair won't be made whole, but they told me to meet them after the meeting, and they'll get my stuff back.
This is not the
to
right
me.
process.
so would the process for us?
Let's just remove it. Let's remove it from the agenda, and
Start over new.
well, or there's possibly another process.
Move it or table it?
It will be clean
think
within
it's
the
more
next
of an
60 to
administrative
90
process than
days.
coming before the
Everything will
board.
be
Here's
gone.
where
It'll be
we are.
like
There's
my
an appeal.
property
Sir?
appraisal picture.
Here's where we are tonight.
I think
You
they need to
do the best you can to get it cleaned up. We're gonna get some, legal opinion on what the city can or cannot do.
Yes, sir.
But we're not here to,
Nail me to the cross.
no,
I
no, sir,
understand.
not at all, not at all. And so you do the best you can to clean it up, and we'll be talking with you again.
Yeah.
Once we can figure out what needs to happen here.
You all have
Indeed,
really
it does
good
need
work
to
with me,
be,
Mr.
it
Chairman.
needs to be cleaned up and
Yes,
neatened up,
It does.
okay? So if you agree with that, then just go ahead and do what you can,
Yes, sir.
all right?
I even have
We're
asked
going-
help from the Veterans Administration to give me help over there, because I have mental problems, but neatness is not one of them.
I need, a motion to remove.
or staff could just withdraw it from the agenda if they so desire.
You want to withdraw it, or you want us to remove it?
We'll withdraw it from the agenda, and then we'll just do an abatement.
You can't do an abatement when you haven't given me a chance. He's giving me 90 days.
They'll follow the proper procedures under the
We'll
code.
give you notice on abatement, we'll just do the abatement.
I think we ought to meet back here, because they can't come to my house. That guy surely can't.
All right, so
We
this is
withdraw
being
this
removed
case
at
from
this
the
time,
agenda.
correct?
They're withdrawing.
So we need to move on.
Okay, that's all we can do tonight, sir.
All right. But when is the abatement process? Are you gonna give me a
You'll get
chance to
notice
clean
of
it
the
up a little
abatement.
bit?
I
30
think you-
days and come back and see, and then abate it?
There's a process under the code, and they'll follow the process, and you will definitely get
Yeah, but
notice.
these guys don't act like this when they're out there. You can ask these people
Well,
right
you-
here.
you will-
They don't act good like this when they're in front of our houses.
Well, you will get notice. If there's gonna be an abatement, you will
Okay.
get notice of it, when it will be, and that would give you an opportunity to either move those things, or the city would remove them,
Okay.
okay?
And that would be the proper date, because they tried to abate it before, and they came days before and said they would make me whole, and which they haven't. It's on record. We go back and find it.
So what, okay. Next case?
You're all
Thank you.
done, sir, for
Thank you.
tonight. Thank you.
You all have a good night.
You too. CE 21-209.
I'm submitting photos that I took during my re-inspections of the property. They accurately depict the property during my visits. This case was brought to the code board on November 18th, 2021, and was found in violation of a permit required, storing junk or autos and storing outdoors. I sent the notice of hearing for noncompliance on January 4th, 2022, and it was sent certified and posted. At this time, the property remains in violation. I haven't met you yet, ma'am.
Hi.
If you're going to speak, you'll need to be sworn in, please.
You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Can you please state your name and address for the record?
I can. My name is Secret Wilson. My address is 2491 Robin Hood Drive.
Okay. As I said earlier, but maybe got lost in the transition, under non-compliance, the board can only either say you are complied or you are not. And for us to say you are complied, we need to have the code officer agree with us that these things have been taken care of, the storing outdoors, and junk auto.
Okay.
So,
For one thing, I haven't met with him or talked with him, and that's fine. I'm compliant. I can have a little bit of time. I'll make sure everything gets taken care of properly. And that's the best that I can do.
do you live at this residence?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, so if these things have been taken care of, then you, if you're representing the property, need to contact the code office and tell them to come do an inspection.
Okay.
It appears this picture was taken on today.
Yeah.
Did you, who's it, this is yours? Did you speak with anybody out there, or you just went by and made a picture?
I went by and took a picture.
Yeah, and I was kind of hoping, see, I've just recently become aware of the whole, the ordinance and the codes. It was my parents' house, and they both died. I came home from work and I saw the sign in the yard, and that's how I found out about the meeting. So that's what I'm saying. If you get in touch with me, then I can make sure I take care of everything. I just need the time to do so. Because I need to find out what the permit is for and what needs to be.
The permit's for the shed, and this thing that's built on the side of the house, there's no record of a permit ever being pulled for that structure or the shed structure right there.
Is there a number where I could contact you so you could tell me what it is that I need to do exactly?
Yeah, it's on the sign that's in your yard. There's a phone number.
Okay.
Is
it the same one
and
I
a
called
Gusto
today where
can
the
give you a
mailbox
call.
is full? Because I tried calling the number today like about 5 or 6 times, and it kept sending me to voicemail, yet it was full. So I couldn't leave a message. So,
I can give you my information before we leave today.
that would be awesome. And I will take care of everything as best I can. My father built the lean-to on the side of the garage, and that shed back there, I'm not sure, what was it that you wanted me to do with it? I mean, that's what I'm saying, let's get together and get more information and take action, so.
Okay, if a permit was not pulled for the shed or the carport cover, then you're going to have to get those permits updated. And what happens under non-compliance is we will take a vote, and if you're found non-compliant, then the fine that was levied back when this first came before us will start after some number of days. It doesn't start tonight, but it starts fairly soon, day or two. And once that happens, that is a lien against the property, and you have the opportunity to come back before us and ask for forgiveness of the lien. But right now, we need to take a vote.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Chair.
Go ahead, please.
Case CE 21209, I move to find this property in non-compliance.
Second.
Okay, motion on the floor with a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? There are none. So the case moves forward. If you have further questions, talk with Officer Gonzalez. You can get a card from him, get his number, and get it taken care of.
Okay, I will do.
Thank you.
I'll get with you afterwards.
Is number 5 and number 6 are still off, right?
Yes,
And number 7 is off.
yes.
So that brings us to number 8. CE 21-250.
I'm submitting photos that I took during my re-inspections of the property. They accurately depict the property during my visits. This case was brought to the Code Board on September 16, 2021, and was found in violation of accessory structures, storing outdoors, and weeds. I sent the notice of hearing for noncompliance on January 4th, 2022, and it was sent certified and posted. At this time, the property remains in violation. And property owner's not here.
Okay, I'll take a motion.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion. In the case of CE 21-250, find the occupants or owner in non-compliance.
Second.
Okay, motion on the floor is second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? There are none, so the motion passed. And number 9 is off, number 10 is off. Number 11, CE 21-432.
I am submitting photos that I took during my re-inspections of the property. They accurately depict the property during my visits. This case was brought to the Code Board on November 18th, 2021, and was found in violation of protected treatment, accumulation of trash and litter, storing junk or autos, and weeds. I sent the notice of hearing for noncompliance on January 4th, 2022, and it was sent certified and posted. At this time, the property remains in violation.
Okay. No one here. Take a motion.
Mr. Chair, I move in the case CE 21432, the property found to be non-compliant.
Second.
Motion on the floor with a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? There are none. Motion passed. Next item is CE 21-433.
504 South Kentucky Avenue. I'm submitting photos that I took during my re-inspections of the property. They accurately depict the property during my visits. This case was brought to the Code Board on November 18th, 2021, and was found in violation of parking in the yard, trailers in the yard, and weeds. I sent the notice of hearing for noncompliance on January 4th, 2022, and it was sent certified and posted. At this time, the property remains in violation.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion.
Go ahead.
In the case of CE 21-433, find the owner in non-compliance.
I'll second.
Motion on the floor with a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none. That motion passed. Next is CE 21-540.
The address is 2610 North Corco Boulevard. I'm submitting photos that I took during my re-inspections of the property. They accurately depict the property during my visits. This case was brought to the Code Board on November 18th, 2021, and was found in violation of accessory structures, protective treatment, failure to secure structure, roofs, and drainage. I sent the notice of hearing for noncompliance on January 4th, 2022, and it was sent certified and posted. At this time, the property remains in violation.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion.
Go ahead.
In the case of CE 21-540, find the property owner in non-compliance.
Second.
Motion on the floor with a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? There are none. That motion passed. Next is CE 21-0171.
The address is 1212 Cypress Lane. I'm submitting photos that I took during my re-inspections of the property. They accurately depict the property during my visits. This case was brought to Code Board on 10/21/2021 and was found to be in violation of roofs and drainage and parking in the yard. I sent the notice of hearing for noncompliance on January 4th, 2022, and it was sent certified and posted. At this time, the property remains in violation.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion.
Go ahead, please.
In the case of CE 21-0171, find the property owner in noncompliance.
Second.
Motion on the floor with a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? There are none, so that motion passed. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, we are moving right down to the end of time here. There are no lien reductions, no other business. Manager announcements.
I just wanted to let the board know that this will be Gerald's last meeting before you. He is gonna actually go back home to Oklahoma. So he will be leaving us and we will miss him.
Well, thank you for your time here.
Thank you.
Yes, we're gonna miss you because we need you.
Do you have a replacement? Do you have a replacement yet?
No, not yet. The job is currently in the works to get posted. So we'll see how that goes.
Get another good one.
Okay, so our next meeting is November,
February.
excuse me. That'd be a long ways away, wouldn't it?
Wow.
Wishful thinking, maybe, I don't know. February 17th, 2022, right here in this same place. Meeting adjourned.
This was a lively one.
Oh, man.